Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Becca, and if you haven't seen my update short video that I did earlier this week, I am now going by Art by RJR, and I'm no longer holding the Sketchcat art handle anymore. So this is my first long form video in a while, only because I find it very kind of distracting to do videos in general, but I do like to make videos to share what I'm up to, which is kind of more what I'm going to lean on to probably. And if I do happen to have the energy to edit videos that are a little bit more long form where like I'm actually doing stuff, I'll consider it. But just because that I have my full-time job and I have now decided to promote myself more professionally, and so we'll get into that just shortly. So I thought I would start with showing you these little canvases that I made. This one was fun to make. It almost gives me like the Simpsons vibe the way I made it. Not exactly how I wanted to make it, but that's just how it turned out because I ended up using mostly acrylic markers. So this is just a little canvas board. It's 6 by 6, and yeah. So there's that one, and then there's these two. These two followed another project that I did of watercolor images. Those I will post as a pop-up image, just because I have them set somewhere where I don't want to disturb them, because I wanted to list them for sale, and after I took the pictures I kind of wrapped them all up all nice and neat and put them in an envelope just ahead of time. So I figured I'll just post the image here afterwards, during the editing process. So these are, again, they're 6 by 6 little canvas boards, and I don't know, it probably doesn't show, but the eye of the raven and the moon, they're a silver and a gold. And the detail on the raven is very subtle. There's very, very subtle lines. And these ideas just came to me, so I kind of went with it. And the eyes of the cat and all of the dots, and those are also a gold shimmer. It's too bad it's very shiny because I did varnish these. And I thought I would go with the sketchbooks first. So all I did in November was these two things in this sketchbook, this big one. And actually I will show you this. This is a some playing around that I did for what I did for those watercolor images. And I did another version. These really aren't part of the November. I don't have them ready for the November thingy because the main paintings I did in November, but the ideas came to me at the end of October. So my paintings are very similar to what these look like, but I did make it a little different than what shows here. So those are those two. These are just watercolor paper where I was practicing. The Highland Cow, I wasn't really satisfied, as you can see here. I wasn't happy with this one. I was just, I don't know, it's just one of those days. This one is just so-so. This is, I referenced this from a picture of the, are these lorikeet parrots? I forget their name. I'm pretty sure that's what they are. We went to the Granby Zoo in 2024, fall of 2024. Was that right? Yes, because we went to Montreal this year. So last year in the fall, we went to the Granby Zoo, and they had an area that where you could go feed these birds nectar and stuff like that. And some of them, especially this one, was really intrigued with me and would actually come on my arm or on my hand to come and have the nectar. And it was so funny because there was this little girl there with her mom next to me, and she was all like upset because the birds wouldn't go on her. And like, I didn't really entice the birds to come on me. They just happened to, because there was signs everywhere that says like not to force the birds to get on to you. Another thing I did in the sketchbook, I had been neglecting my sketchbooks a lot just because I'm doing a lot of stuff that's outside of my sketchbook. So, on the 23rd of November, this particular day, I think this was a Sunday morning, and I'm very up, very, very early. And as the morning progressed, but still early, I was like, well, I'll do an art hang party replay, which was just the replay of that particular week, and which was vegetables. And I really enjoyed doing this replay. My favorite is probably the garlic bulbs. Um, and this was a warm up to stuff that I wanted to do, but this day ended up being kind of like a very weird day, and I really didn't do much. So a lot of these that I'm showing you, they are not in any particular order. And so, as I mentioned at the beginning, I am trying to promote myself more professionally and less as a hobby artist. And how I did that at the beginning of the month is I I want to say the end of October, was it maybe the end of October, the first week of November, I had dropped off I sent a picture of it to my client, and I did a watercolor portrait of her dog. Now, if anybody's following my Substack, my newsletter did go out a couple of days ago, and that image of her dog is on there. If I can find it, I will post it here. I think I have it saved on my computer. So I decided to send her an image of it, and I said, I've been holding on to this for a while because I wasn't sure when's the next time you need me to see the dog. And because I take care, um, I take care of the dog's anal glands, so she just messages me, and when the dog needs them emptied. I know it's a little bit of too much info, but it is what it is. That's how I know this dog. I knew them from my days of working as a vet tech. So um, it's kind of a long story, but that's basically the short version. So this reference of this beautiful little sphinx is a stock photo that I found, just to add as practice and to add it to my art portfolio. And the beginning of the month, I decided um, to do a one-page website where I can use as an art portfolio. I have it divided in like watercolor pet portraits, acrylic painting slash mixed media stuff. And Yeah, I just started working on that. I was like, oh, it would be nice to have a place to post all of the work that I'm really proud of, and it's also a place that I can send people to check out the work that I do. So these last ones were my pets, and this one here is also another royalty free type reference photo website. Probably could have went in a little bit more detail in this one, but sometimes I just look at them and I'm like, I feel like I'm overworking it, and I just stop. So not long after I did my website and everything like that, and my client said, "Oh, she's like, I might know someone that would be interested in having a pet portrait. So are you taking clients for commissions?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. You can just give her my name and contact." And we went from there. I hadn't heard anything from her, but not long, like literally within days after that, I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to do the scary thing, and I'm just going to make a post to share some of these images. And I just did this on my private Facebook account, and um, I was like, this is what I offer, the size of the image, the price, and, email me if you're interested. And then, like, after, I'd say a week after I made that post, that client of mine, her friend slash maybe coworker, I don't know, her friend, she finally got a hold of me for the commission that she wanted. And I got super excited. I was like, oh my God, this person actually like showed up to, get a hold of me and get me to draw a pet for her. And it's a gift. So I don't have that one. And after I posted my Facebook thingy, well, instead of an email, this person messaged me, um, and she says, "Oh, I'd like to get you to paint a painting for um, a pet." And this one is also another gift. And then like a week later, I had the paintings ready, and I dropped one off where one works, and the other person said to hold on to it because they don't really live within the city limits, because I do offer just free delivery, at home. Um, or they can pick up here at my house if they want to, if they live within city limits. Saves the shipping. But in the end, she just emailed me. She's like, "Oh, I'll send you the extra fee for shipping it," because she wasn't planning on coming within the city that I live in anytime soon. So it was best to mail it out as early as possible, even though she doesn't live that far. But it's still a good, 20-25 minute drive. And I didn't want to drive all the way out there to deliver it. So she has that on the way. I sent that out this later this week. And so those images of those pet portraits, I will have those up on my website, and probably will include them on my next like video like this, where I show you all the art that I make. These are in no particular order. They're probably in the order of like most recent to least recent, but still probably within the last week or two. So this one I actually just finished this morning. We are actually the last day of November as I'm recording this, and if I'm lucky, I will edit this today and post it. I'm not even sure if there's going to be much editing, to be honest. I quite like this. Uh, I've looked at it at every which way possible. This is more one of those like intuitive paintings. It's charcoal and acrylic paint. And I started with the charcoal yesterday. I did 3 sheets. The other two I haven't touched yet. I still have to get, but I did this one this morning, and this is what came up. And I'm like, well, I think it's done. I didn't want to do much more to it, and I really like it. Another thing that I am planning on doing at the beginning of 2026 is I already have a Ko-fi account, but I don't do much with it. And so I was thinking that I would, in 2026, open up a commissions request section on that page, and probably open up a shop to sell some artwork. I have everything scanned. There may be versions of these where it's a print in the future. I still have to look into that, or stickers and whatnot. But I have none of that right now. So if I put anything for sale, it's literally going to be all of these original pieces of paper. This is heavy paper that I paint them on. If I could find my book, it's acid-free paper, it's mixed media paper, and it is 120 pounds. I quite like this paper. I'm actually surprised with it. It does buckle a bit because you're using paint on it and whatnot, but it does hold up pretty good. So this is another one. So I do like to paint with acrylics, more into a intuitive, abstract, unless it's something like this. This is like another thing I wanted to try, where it's a little bit more like detailed and you actually can see what the painting is. So this is another intuitive abstract. There's a couple of these that I haven't signed yet. I need to initial them. I did this one mostly yesterday. The background was already painted from leftover paint. And I had my reference photo, and I decided to do it more like a, I'm not even sure what this style would be called, like a monochrome type. Anyways, he's a cool cat with a coffee cup. The white part section I did this morning. I was going to leave it without, but it looked too weird without that extra lighter color. So I decided to make it white. But yeah, he's a cool cat. Another abstract piece. This one is mixed media. It has acrylic, pastel, and collage. These little circles here are collage, and it's very shiny from spray varnish and the glue that holds that down. Another abstract piece. This is a loose flower painting that I did. I think I did this one yesterday. Just trying different things. I don't have a specific style. I find it's great for those that do have a style. I would have to say, like in the watercolor pet portraits, this is the style I'm looking at and liking. Um, but when it came to just really paint for fun, I like to do whatever. Like, honestly, nice parrot, cow. And these next two are actually my pets. This is Tessa. Just, playing around with options of like, you know, would I enjoy painting acrylic pet portraits versus the watercolor. The watercolors are really fun. I do really enjoy them. But I find you're very limited with the details, at least from my experience of using them so far. Like, I don't use like fresh out of the tube watercolors. I use up the dried stuff. So it's just a matter of me keeping to practice with them and whatnot. This guy, I'm going to pop up an image here, and it's my digital version. I had like their outlines done and everything on Procreate. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to create a copy of the outline, and I'm just gonna figure out colors and whatnot. And mind you, this version here on paper with the acrylic, it's a bit darker than the Procreate version, but like they're both great. The collar might also look a little bit different. His actual collar does not look like this, because it's very dark, and I wanted to avoid more dark colors. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. This one too. These are great. So besides the paintings that I'm actually going to pop, I do have more paintings. These are going to be popped up on a separate image. So I do have a website now. So for my portfolio website, it's RebeccaJanisisRichard.art. I will have that written in the description, because my maiden name specifically is it's a European last name, so it's hard to figure out the spelling. So I will have that written out and linked in the description. You can also find it just in the general description of my channel as well. So all of my platforms, Substack, Instagram, here on YouTube, and my Ko-fi website page, it's all art by RJR. And I did do a small short video, as I said at the beginning, that kind of goes over that update very, very briefly. So yeah, that's the art that I've made. I've been busy all month, and I feel like I did a lot more than this, than what I showed you today, but at the same time, I had some slow days and slow weeks as well. Because I've been so hyper fixating on the research of like, okay, well, if I start making art more professionally and I get paid for it, what does it look like for me, like in terms of like income claiming and all that stuff, like all like the legit stuff that you need to do. Um, but it's not as complicated as I thought it would be because I'm already self employed. So it's just a matter of claiming the money I make just under my name. So, yeah, so I'm quite happy that I've gotten two commissions so far. They've all been sent out or already delivered to the clients, and I can't wait for them to hopefully they give me an update on what they think. I did send them each an image of the painting itself, and I can't wait to hear from them to see what their corresponding relative that's getting the gift of the painting. And yeah, so that's it for now. I will keep you all updated once I have a coffee shop opened up and ready to go. I am waiting to after the holidays, unfortunately, just because my primary work, I'm a pet groomer, so I work from home, and it's just that busy time of the year. So I don't want to overwhelm myself and, just end up being like too overwhelmed and not be able to finish any art for specific commissions, except for like maybe the local ones that come in for the time being. And at the same time, I'm going to be figuring out how I'm going to price things, um, just because shipping can be expensive. So I'm just trying to figure out what to price things at and how I would ship everything into like basically one fee that would include the fee for the painting and the shipping all in one. So that's how I'm leaning towards. And if anybody has any advice on that part, I'm in Canada, I'm in Atlantic Canada. So if anybody has any tips and tricks on the whole shipping thing, shipping artwork, I'm focusing right now just on paper artwork just because I really don't want to get into packaging big boxes and stuff like that. I have no room whatsoever to store boxes. Just the mailer envelopes that I bought for my smaller stuff. Like I bought these these are 11 by 14, and whoops, and I have like these, I don't even know what size this is, 7 by 9 I think, for like the smaller watercolors or the pet portraits, and I wanted something stiff to mail out in the mail. So for paperwork artwork, it's so much easier, less of a hassle. If I have this dream and ambition of moving to another space where we're out in the country, and hopefully that manifests. And I just have a dream that the next house that we're gonna have, like even though we want to downsize but not want to downsize, like I have this dream of having like this more of a farmhouse type space where there would be like a much larger space for me to make art more freely, have more space to store things, especially when it comes to letting pieces dry. I know acrylic paints do dry fast, but because I want to work on art more earlier in the morning, I can't use my little heater gun thing. I ordered one of these on Amazon, but like they're still pretty loud, and the way my house is right now, um my our main bedroom is pretty much almost next door to this one where I work in, and I can't really use that early in the morning when my husband's sleeping. So that's the dream, to move out in the country be more closer to accessible nature that's basically would be our property, and have more space to make a lot of art. Basically, that's where I'm going with that. So with that said, I'm gonna end the video here, and I will see you all on the next one, and hopefully it won't be too long, as long as it's been this time around. Bye.